I was going to start this video off by saying that this isn't the type of video that I plan to do today, but I guess that's been most of the videos I've been doing recently. Plans don't really seem to work out. I'd originally planned to do kind of like a compilation thing of a bunch of different clips that I took over the course of yesterday and today in regard to this development I'm doing right here on the VR nature project. But all those clips, they're okay, but a lot of them, the audio was just really bad, or my hair was all messed up because I got out of bed and just started working on this. Life of a developer sometimes. In the clips, I was pretty much just going over the performance problems I was having trying to make such a large open space in VR. Been thinking a lot about how to solve the performance problems that come with VR. I think that's a lot of what being a developer is most days, at least for me, is just contemplation. How to solve a problem. It's like 70% thinking, like 20% doing, and like 10% debugging. Like 25 milliseconds on the base pass and stuff like that. That's just not doable for VR. You know, for VR you need to be targeting 11 milliseconds, which is hard when you want to make something open. I was up to 10 million draw calls at one point doing a forest area, which doesn't seem really doable either. I mean, how do you make a forest though without huge draw calls? I mean, you can get rid of some undergrowth and just have trees, which I tried, and it saved like 1 million polygons. But I feel like that low stuff is very important for the immersion. If you ever go into a forest, it's not just trees. There's undergrowth. There's little ferns and little grass-like things. There's bushes and little baby trees, and you can't just have big trees. I mean, you can, but I don't think that's something to compromise on. It makes sense why so many VR experiences today are closed in, tightly packed little areas, you know, or small maps. Maybe there's a reason why no one's really done a big open world VR thing yet, even though that seems like would be the perfect thing for VR. Well, Skyrim and Fallout 4 VR are a thing, but they weren't designed for VR. They're ports. You know, and that's not quite the same thing. Using some rather aggressive LOD, I was able to reduce the draw calls to about 3 million, which is better-ish. I mean, the map is like 9 square miles, which I'm only accomplishing because level streaming is a thing, which I'm not quite sure was designed to be used in VR, but it seems to be working out so far. I mean, behind me here, you can see a big center lake and 2 rivers splitting off. I wonder if I could get away with using very heavy fog to cover up a lack of view distance. That's a very old trick in game design. It makes me think of Morrowind. You had that perpetual fog over everything, you know. And back then, when I played that game, it made sense. It wasn't a big deal. I never thought about it. But, you know, then Oblivion came out, and, you know, Fallout and later games and whatever. And, you know, they had these big long draw distances, which are still kind of small by today's standards. But maybe if I use some tricks of the past to fix the problems with VR, I can maintain performance. I mean, it's not like you have a lot of pixels to work with anyway for a far out draw distance in VR. Doing something like a big open vista on the top of a mountain might not look great anyway, but the moment-to-moment stuff, like on a path in the woods, within, you know, 500 feet of the player, do those trees look good? Does that stone wall look good? Does that deer walking past look good? Past that, if it's a little foggy, you know, maybe that would be okay. I could perhaps make smaller sections where it's like half a mile wide and you walk through and maybe you come to like a canyon or something, and then you have a loading screen and it would load into a new level. But I'm not quite sure that would solve the problem. Also, who really wants to deal with loading screens in VR? Nobody. This is a strange kind of video. I know it's not quite as fiery as the one I did yesterday, but again, I just feel like this is what most of being a developer is most days. Just contemplation. How to solve a problem. I'll definitely have a better style video tomorrow. I gotta get back to work. Thanks for watching. Consider liking and subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. Well, maybe not videos like this, but, you know, videos about game design or programming, my life, whatever. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.